Welcome in, everybody. Region Football Tailgate Show. Michael Brander here along with Matt Skura. Another week of high school football. Can you believe it? We are already in week number 7. The season seems to be flying by. It feels like we were just here for Region Football Weekly, kind of previewing this season. Week 7 already, the final third of the season. If you break this up into segments, we're in the final, third of this regular season already.
Yep, everybody's ramping up for playoffs. Conference races are getting tight. Determining some conference champions here pretty soon within the next couple of weeks, and it's going to be a good finish to the regular season here.
Yeah, we talk about fine tuning those. I say this every time that we talk about these weeks. The first 3 weeks you're kind of finding that identity, right, and then the middle 3 weeks of the season, 4 through 6, kind of solidifying what those are. Okay, we found out who we are. Let's take these skills and run with these, and then, as you said, kind of fine-tuning for the postseason, getting that conference championship if possible, or at least making a good standing in the conference championships or somewhere in the conference. And one of those teams that's looking for a good conference standing, in fact, trying to win the NCC outright, is going to be the Andrean 59ers. They were supposed to kick off at 6 o'clock against Angola Hornets, so we'll get updates throughout the night on that. But they're looking to go 6-1 as they play a little out-of-conference matchup here tonight.
Yeah, they got their offense rolling good. Against Highland last week, Brady Ellis had a breakout game rushing.
Yeah,
rushing the ball, and their defense is just killing it now.
Yeah, it should be a fun one over there. They're averaging about 26 points a game, so looking to put up a few points against Angola. Next up on our list, I can guarantee you, this is another guarantee, one of these two teams is going to pick up their 3rd win of the season. Because both these two teams are 2-4 on the year. Bishop Knoll Warriors taking on the River Forest Ingots. But somebody's got to walk away with that 3rd win of the year. Who's it going to be? Well, we're going to find out. 2-4 teams. Should be a good one over there, River Forest. Then you got Bowman Academy taking on the North Newton Spartans. Okay, again, I'm going to make a bold prediction here and say somebody's walking away with an over 500 record, because both those teams coming in at 3-3. I am just full of the hot takes here today. Another good one on the docket. This one should be really interesting. I know Justin Cole is going to be watching this one with a lot of envy. One of the games right here on the Region Sports Network tonight. You've got the Calumet Warriors taking on the number 5 Wheeler Bearcats. Both these teams with 5 wins. Calumet, though, with that 1 loss. Wheeler with none. But again, Wheeler also didn't play one game this season due to some unforeseen circumstances. But man, this is a chance. Calumet Warriors, they've been wanting to sneak into that RSN top 10. I can see Justin Cole back there. He's ready. He wants it. How did homecoming work out last week, Justin? I wasn't even paying attention. How did that work out for everybody? Pretty good. That's what I thought. Yeah, that's right. So Calumet against the Wheeler Bearcats. This one should be really interesting. We'll have this one right here on the Region Sports Network tonight.
Yeah, definitely. Both teams are averaging 40-plus points a game. Top 2 rushers for Wheeler are both underclassmen. I think one's a freshman, one's a sophomore. So good things to come in the next few years for them. And then, again, Calumet's running back Bryce Brandon's about to break the 1,000-yard barrier here this week too. So
always love when we can start breaking some records and breaking some milestones. Those are always fun, especially even when you get to be the announcer for that, and you're kind of like your voice is behind that. But it's all because of these kids' accomplishments. So that's why we get to do what we do. So always spotlighting the kids. All right, East Chicago is in Lake Station tonight. You got Eagles versus Cardinals. Not sure who wins in that battle. I'm gonna guess naturally it would be the Eagle over the Cardinal, but you never know. On a football gridiron, could be Cardinals over Eagles tonight. Although Lake Station wore, they're kind of wearing out their opponents. 5-1 record this year.
Yeah, both teams predominantly rushing teams. So it should be a quick game. Penalties, I think, are going to be the big one there. Who can have the least penalties and who can play the cleanest game. Yeah, I mean, East Chicago's 1-5 record's a little bit deceiving. They played some strong opponents and everything.
Yes, they have.
And struggled a little bit, but, I mean, anything can happen on any given Friday. You know that.
Lake Station averaging 38 points a game. East Chicago giving up 36. So right around that same margin there. We'll see how that one plays out. But yeah, you talk about East Chicago playing some tough opponents. Calumet being one of those. Did get a win against Bowman Academy. That's their 1 win on the year. So trying to, change the fortunes over there in East Chicago. We've also got Hammond Central taking on the number 10 Morton Governors. Morton in 4-2 on the year. Hammond Central still looking for that first win of the year. But the Morton Governors, they're always that team every single year, almost every single week. We're talking about this team that's going to be, when are they going to break out? When are they going to be the team that starts on this big winning streak? Maybe one day making it down to Indianapolis.
Yeah, they have the athletes to do it. It's just a matter of putting it all together. They're building the program, getting where they want to be. That they got a freshman quarterback, so that's a nice building block right there. He's only going to grow. He's having a phenomenal season this year too.
Another fun rivalry matchup. Who doesn't love this one between Highland and Munster? Somebody's ready to do some painting tonight. Maybe we'll see what happens in that one. So maybe some paint, maybe leaving the colors the way they are. But Highland versus Munster, always a fun rivalry matchup.
Yeah, both teams are looking to, I believe, get their first conference win. I'm not mistaken. Yeah, both teams are looking to get their first conference win, along with it being a rivalry game. You always want to beat your neighbor.
Heck yeah. Heck yeah. Battle of the Bridge for sure. All right, number 8, Hobart Brickies are going to Cedar Lake tonight. They will take on the Hanover Central Wildcats. Big one for the Hobart Brickies, trying to just continue on the winning ways if possible. But Hanover, they're looking to make some noise in the NCC as well, and playing a little showstopper if they can.
Yeah, they're looking to stay in the race for the conference championship there. Hobart, they got the 2 conference losses, but they're still looking to stay in the hunt. Possibly they need a lot of help, but they'll still be in the hunt. And a little tidbit here: I don't think Hobart's ever beaten Hanover Central.
Okay, all right.
I mean, in the short term,
the short amount of time
that they've had it, Hanover's 2-0 in the series. I don't think they've ever played when Hanover used to have a football team way back when.
We'd have to go back in the deep into the archives to look for that. We'll have to scrounge through maybe Chris Ramirez's house or something. He's got all the stats, all the files tucked away somewhere that he likes to bring out every once in a while. So Coach Schreiber looking to get back in the winning column for the Hobart Brickies, but Hanover, like we said, wants to play spoiler. Another one we'll have right here on the Region Sports Network, the Chesterton Trojans. They're looking to continue on with their winning ways. They're doing really well. 3-game winning streak, looking to make it 4. And Lake Central, they're looking to get off the schneid. They're looking for a big win. Tonight would be a huge win for this program and kind of boosting the morale of this team after a tough one against Michigan City last week. I had that call last week. I was really impressed with the way Lake Central was moving the ball. And then the fourth quarter happened, which we've seen in quite a few games over the course of a year and during our time following football. Sometimes, one quarter just kind of, just collapses on you. And that's kind of what happened to Lake Central. But they were holding Michigan City. I mean, there was a point in that third quarter late where they had a chance to take the lead against Michigan City, which would have been a complete shock to a lot of people around region football. But I tell you what, Lake Central could pull up the upset. We'll see. I mean, Chesterton, though, really rolling pretty well. 3 wins in a row, all against DAC opponents. So.
Yeah, Chesterton's looking to stay in, second place in conference with they got 3-1 record right now in conference. They're rolling on offense, moving the ball really well with that ground and pound type offense. Scattering in a few passes here and there, and Lake Central is just looking not to make those big mistakes.
One thing to keep him, one thing, having seen Chesterton up close and personal, as well as Lake Central, Chesterton's defense just always going to be right in your kitchen, and that's one thing that Lake Central might have a slight issue with tonight. We'll see how this one plays out. We also got the number 1 Crown Point Bulldogs looking to extend their regular season winning streak against the LaPorte Slicers. Again, this is a LaPorte Slicers team. Yeah, they're 2-4 on the year, 1-3 in the Duneland Athletic Conference, but I still say this isn't a team that you cannot look past, even though they were, already 2 wins on the year compared to last year. This is not a team to take lightly.
Yeah, I mean, on defense, they're only giving up 27 points a game. They're struggling a little bit on offense to score, but if you can keep somebody within 1 or 2 scores, anything can happen.
Yeah.
I mean, Crown Point, they have the, probably one of the elite defenses in the area. They had 7 interceptions last week against Valpo, and they have that ball control offense now. They got big plays here and there, but it's not your typical Crown Point offense we're used to seeing. But, their big key is their special teams. They've been playing incredible on special teams, blocking punts. Griffin Van Tichel ran back a punt for a touchdown. He's got a few big returns for Crown Point that set up their offense into great field position. So special teams is a big difference maker for them.
Well, we've seen that maybe over on the riverfront or the lakefront over there in Chicago. Special teams can make a big deal in a game. We've seen it. Moving on down the line, you got the Kankakee Valley Cougars looking for their first win of the year, but the Lowell Red Devils, they're coming to town. They're looking to go 6-1 on the year, number 4 in our RSN poll. They're thinking to themselves, yeah, you're going to stay winless, but KV, you never know, could break things through.
Yeah, that's a rivalry game too.
Yep.
I don't know if they actually have a trophy down there for them.
We'll look into
between the game. We can look into it, but the series between Lowell and KV, Lowell's winning 28-3, so KV hasn't had a whole lot of success against Lowell, but
hey,
again,
no better
rivalry
time than...
game. Coach Kennedy used to coach at Lowell. He gets those kids fired up for that game.
Hey, no better time than now to start a new, start a winning streak, right? That's
right.
All got to start this week. Another game we'll have right here on the Region Sports Network, the Valparaiso Vikings against the Maryville Pirates. Going to be a tough one for the Valparaiso Vikings, who kind of just feel like they're spinning their wheels at this point. Right now, the Maryville Pirates, man, one of the top teams in the area, one of the fun teams to watch for sure. Looking to go 5-2 on the year, stay in the top, echelon of that DAC. Looking to go 4-1 in conference if they can, and they're hoping that maybe somebody could knock off Crown Point and put them all. You could have like a 3-4-way tie potentially for that Duneland Athletic Conference if that were to happen. So they're hoping for a little LaPorte Slicers love here tonight, but not sure if that's going to break out that way. But you got the Maryville Pirates against the Valparaiso Vikings. That should be a fun one. Always love going out to Valpo to watch a game, the fireworks, and whenever their military night is, that's always a fun time, bringing a helicopter in, and just a great atmosphere out there. And then the Michigan City Wolves, they're looking to stay on the winning streak, looking to go 5-2 on the year. They're taking on the Portage Indians. Again, another matchup we'll have right here on the Region Sports Network. You guys got to watch from the studio here. What were you liking about that Michigan City team? Because we were thinking like that team could be a team that could upset Maryville, and then obviously that didn't happen. But they had a nice bounce back win against Lake Central last week.
Yeah, it seems just watching them over the last few games and stuff, they've been very reliant on the big plays, and they've gotten them. And you can't later as the season goes on. Later, you can't rely on the big plays. You have to be able to drive the ball downfield, move the ball downfield consistently, and not kill yourself with penalties and stuff like that.
I was going to say that matchup against Lake Central, that was penalty filled for both teams, and it was whoever was going to make the least amount was going to be the winner of that one, and it ended up being Michigan City. Moving on down the line, over in Griffith, they are playing host to the West Side Cougars. Always fun to be in Griffith, number 6 in our RSN poll. Good to hear that Coach Mason is back on the sidelines for the Griffith Panthers. So good to see Coach back out there, last I heard. And then last matchup here on the evening is going to be Boone Grove taking on the Whiting Oilers. And one of those two teams is going to pick up their 3rd win of the year. They both have 2 wins on the year. But Boone Grove and Whiting should be a good one over at Whiting. If you've never been out to Whiting, you got to go check out, because when you sit in the stands and you get to see the lake in the background and the trains and all that kind of fun stuff, it's a good time out there.
Yeah, it is. It's definitely worth spending a Friday night out at the oil can over there.
Yeah,
I don't know exactly what the
I like it. It's a good. We'll give it a new nickname. That's fine.
I mean, Boone Grove's on the up and up. They played better last week against River Forest, and Whiting kind of struggled a little bit with turnovers and stuff against Calumet. So hopefully Whiting can get it turned around and Boone Grove can keep rolling.
All right, that's what they're looking for. All right, we are just about set. Kickoff should be happening right now. Whichever game that you're wanting to check out, make sure you go check out those live streams. We'll have them up and running. I believe we're going to have the multicast going on here in the near future as well. Yep. Oh, it's already live. All right, perfect. So we'll send you out to those games. You've been watching Region Football Tailgate Show right here on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.